He's Black Guy Fawkes, and I am still in shock that he knows every word to the musical Cats. And together we are Fawkes and Friends. Today, the third friends we're talking to about creativity and social justice are Brittany, Luna, and Tim Hildebrand from Catbite.
1, 2, 3, 4. From coast to coast, from sea to shining sea, what he got is fucking wrong. His land's not made for you and me. We're chatting without a wall as we tear down bathroom stalls and watch our kids get slaughtered as they run straight through the hall. Let's go!
Ian, Catbite. Wow, aren't you playing with these guys soon?
Yeah, man, we're gonna be playing here soon at Akusa Fest together, and I'm just so hyped about that. I love that band to death. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. I think we probably have some other stuff coming up here soon too. So I'm excited to talk about that here whenever I get a chance to.
And since I am not cool enough to perform at Pooza, I'm just looking forward to the deluxe version of their album Nice One that is coming out soon. But also, we both kind of have stuff going on this weekend. You as an artist, me as a person who isn't going to your show because I had tickets to something else in advance.
Well, first off, you're going to a show that I wanted to go to so bad, but I couldn't because I got this one instead. But you're gonna go see our good friends Mike and Schnabel, Jesse Jean Speckman in Pittsburgh at Cativo with Tim Berry and Paul Luke.
Yep.
And that's gonna be this Saturday. And then literally 5 minutes away, across the street, I'll be playing with Dave Haas at Thunderbird in Pittsburgh, and it has sold the fuck out. Oh my God. It's going to be an insane show.
Can I start calling you a sellout now?
If I join a Republican, yes, you can call me
Okay,
sellout, but
fair.
not right now.
And then also in Pittsburgh, friend of the show, Old Whitetail, is also playing a singer-songwriter showcase. So, I mean, this is just a great weekend to be in Pittsburgh, and a reminder that Pittsburgh's a pretty fucking cool city, y'all.
And my friend Joey Harcum, he is playing at Club Cafe that night too. So it's just a wild ride of music all across Pittsburgh.
An embarrassment of riches. Pittsburgh's cool, y'all, but you know what else is cool? Us talking to Catbite. Let's go. Joining us today on Fawkes and Friends are Brittany and Tim from the band Catbite. Guys, thank you for coming all the way from Philadelphia via the internet to talk to us.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. The commute was wild, but I'm glad we made it. Not too much traffic on the interweb. How you guys doing?
Doing pretty good. Living the dream, if you will.
Good.
Talking about all that traffic, you guys are a really, really hard touring band, and that's something we haven't asked anybody yet. What is that road life like? Like, not the gigs themselves, but just the being on the go.
It's exhausting.
It's exhausting. It's honestly, it's really fun and like it's exciting, but at the same time, like the days kind of become just like the same thing every day. You just like wake up in, like we wake up in the hotel and like we're in one city, we get into the van at like 8 or whatever, drive for a few hours.
Mm-hmm.
We've made like a pit stop at the same gas station, I feel like, in like, I don't know, Ohio or something, like the same time, like, or like many times, like I know that gas station now.
It's so wild.
It's kind of feel like you're just like in like a weird, I don't know, Groundhog Day kind of thing.
Yeah, especially last year, which was our heaviest touring we've ever done. We did almost 100 shows in 2023. It was awesome, but there was a lot of kind of similar territory. We did a whole, basically 2 full North America or USA tours in the year, one being a co-headline tour and one being support tour for a couple different artists. And yeah, what she's not kidding. There's certain, like, this one gas station in the middle of nowhere, North Carolina. What was the one that we went to twice on one tour?
Yeah.
And we didn't even plan it because there was a lot of, there's the thing with, like, especially with support tours, is you don't do the routing, especially if it's a bigger band. This was specifically when we were on tour with the Bouncing Souls. So they're in a tour bus, and the routings are a little bit more chaotic. But there was one point where we went to the same crappy little gas station in either North Carolina or Tennessee twice in 3 days. I just remember because it was just really weird looking. It had some questionable stickers that were crossed out in the bathroom. I didn't realize it until I went to go take a piss, and I'm like, oh,
Oh
there's
yeah, and
Kenny's Place number 5. That's what it's called.
yeah, yeah.
Kenny's Place number 5, best burgers.
That's what they claim.
Yeah, I really wanted to get a burger. Actually, I wanted to try their cheesesteak just to see. That's also a thing I love doing on tour. We're a Philly band. We're, home of the cheesesteak. And it's kind of exciting that like we, travel all around the world and try these cheesesteaks across the world. One of the craziest one I had was in Australia. It was absolutely nothing like a cheesesteak, but it was so much better because it was just like a straight up like sirloin steak, like chunks in bread with like some really bougie cheese and all these veggies. The thing was like this big,
It was
like you couldn't
massive.
close it. And I'm just eating it with a fork and knife, and it was like,
It's way better than most cheesesteaks.
oh yeah,
really.
so much better than the shit here. But yeah, going back to the kind of Groundhog's Day thing about touring, I've been touring in bands for like 15 years, and the first 10, 11, 12 years of that, it was a lot of DIY, bars, house shows, stuff like that. And, sleeping on couches and, but also late load-ins, you kind of get to the gig at 6 p.m., 7 p.m. Something that really changed this year is like we're playing a lot of venues where we have to be at the venue at like 2 p.m., which is hard.
Yeah.
When it's just us, where it's just, we don't really have a crew yet. It's just us and the band, the band in the van. And I do like 96% of the driving. So it's like a lot of, play the show, go straight to the hotel, fall asleep, wake up, 8 in the morning, get the, hotel breakfast, and then you're out the door at 8:30, just in time to make it to the next city for that 2 p.m. load in, where we load our stuff in, and then we sit for 4 hours, maybe get a sound check, and then, repeat. So it's like,
Sometimes we have enough time where we can like check out what's around the venue, but really that's like it.
yeah. But I mean, we're stoked. We love it. This is all the, like,
I don't want to do anything else.
yeah, which is cool that like everyone in the band morale is still so high. We're still like best friends. We still like we'd rather do this than anything else.
That's all. I know last year on tour Bouncing Souls,
Mhm.
then Hot Water Music too, right?
That's this
Yeah.
year. We're going over to the UK, and we're going to be doing about 9 shows with them around England and Scotland.
Uh-huh.
And I'm so excited. I am so excited.
Going to be so cool. I just met Chuck last year. He's just the nicest person I've ever met before.
That's what we hear from literally everybody.
I mean, I could just like tell from like he just, I mean, you can only get so much from a person's lyrics and their singing and their songs, but like I don't know. I just like when I hear like Hot Water Music and like see videos of him singing and just like see the things he posts on the internet, he just seems like just a real guy who just like cares about people, but then yeah, meeting a bunch of people that have, they hear like, oh, you're gonna be touring with Hot Water Music. Just wait till you hang out with Chuck. He's
Mhm.
like, he's gonna be like your father figure and like you're just your best friend. And man, I'm so excited. I'm so excited to
I wonder if he'll take you fishing.
I know. I feel like that's like the thing you have to do with Chuck Reagan is go fishing. So I don't fish.
I used to, I mean, not really fish, but like when my brother and I were like kids, we would like go down to the lake in our neighborhood and just like, we would always end up catching turtles with snogs. I know. Well, we didn't do it on purpose, so we just kept catching them. But
Yeah.
yeah, I would go fishing.
Yeah. I haven't gone fishing since like Boy Scout camp, but like if I could go fishing with Chuck Reagan, I would absolutely go fishing with Chuck Reagan. Let's do it.
Me and Ed joke around because his Instagram's just full of either fish,
Mhm.
music, or just smoked meats, and it's just the best thing.
Yeah. He's like, he's such a cool guy.
Speaking of influences, I'm wondering how do you all get into ska? Like, what's the artist that got you into the genre?
I kind of discovered it when I was like right around the time that I was getting into punk rock. I moved to like Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, which is kind of hillbilly town, upper middle class conservative hillbilly town. So there's not a lot of like alternative stuff going on. But I kind of became friends with this one guy who was into punk rock, and eventually I joined his band, and we were a ska band. But he's kind of the one that I was getting into bands like Rancid and The Clash. And, there's already all that like ska and reggae and Jamaican influence with those bands. But me and him kind of then went through the rabbit hole of, learning about the Give 'em the Boot compilations, which had bands like the Agrolites and Westbound Train and Hepcat and all the kind of more traditional, like actual, like, 60s Jamaican influence stuff, which me and him were just like, this is freaking awesome. Like, I didn't realize there was more to like Jamaican music than the Bob Marley songs that you hear on the radio and then movies. And like, discovered like the Scotalites and, Prince Buster and all that stuff. And just, I don't know, I just became so fascinated by it and like what the music stood for, and then learned, from there, it just kind of worked my way to the present, like going through like the 70s two-tone movements and the Specials and the Selector and Madness and stuff like that. I feel like I kind of did it backwards from most people my age, where they learn about ska through like Gorilla Big Fish and like No Doubt. I never listened to those bands, most because I first got my start with like the traditional stuff, and I was definitely a snob about it when I was like in high school and like my younger 20s. I was like, I don't need this pop punky, like, shitty, like versions of like this traditional awesome music. But then like slowly as I matured, I like got a real appreciation of everything. Cause it's like the cool thing about ska is it's a conglomerate of so many different types of music. It's like it has the calypso, it has the jazz, it has the R&B, it has the soul, and all of that combined with the politics of 60s Jamaica, and that's what created ska. And it's kind of cool to see that ska can just transform into so many different things because that's how it got started. And that's like once I got a little bit more mature, I realized like that's cool. That's what like these bands aren't like putting trash to the name of ska. They're just like it's an interpretation of this music, and it's a further down the line of progression of a natural progression. But yeah, it's always been kind of my favorite style of music, from late 50s, early 60s stuff to like these modern bands that are ska core bands and barely even ska at all, but like minor influences from that stuff. I just thought it was the most fascinating genre, and it's been a part of my life since I was 15.
Clearly, you are of the true to it, not new to it variety. I love that you started with the first wave stuff, because that's one of my favorite things to talk about when you talk about like ska and really any music is where stuff came from. Was your intro to punk kind of the same? Like, did you start with like the real old stuff and then?
Oh yeah, kind of. I mean, kind of the same thing. Like the Clash kind of was like is forever like my favorite band. That was like the first punk. It was like them and Rancid were like kind of the first punk bands I really got into. And obviously Rancid is just like kind of a direct, inspiration from bands like the Clash. And then I got really into a lot of like where that came from like the Jam and like kind of new wave and power pop stuff like that. And like even this, Ramones and all that crap. That was always like, I was definitely, when I was like a late high schooler and like early college, I was definitely such a snob. I'm like, I don't like new music. I only like like the original stuff. But then like as I grew, got more mature, I'm like, yeah, it's all freaking cool. And I feel like I'm like, at this point, I'm like the least judgmental music critic in the world. Like I will literally listen to anything as long as it's not directly problematic shit. Like, but like, I don't know. It took a while, but now it's just like, I have such an appreciation for literally everything. And I like what I like, and I don't want to yuck anyone's yum because it's, it's music is subjective. I learned that, over my years of, growing up. It's just subjective, man.
Yeah, I feel like you get to an age where you stop geeking like that music because it's and going back to what you're talking about. People need to remember that ska is protest songs, and
Exactly.
I'm also curious. What is your favorite Clash record? Because I'm
So,
totally following Sam to this though, but
see, it definitely comes in waves. And like I want to say, like I feel like most consistently it's London Calling because of how, awesome it is. But Give 'Em Enough Rope has such a weird place in my heart. I just don't know why. I don't know. It's such a good like poppy, which I think that's why they get a lot of hate for that record. It's like that their second record, and it's very they like, were getting money, signed. I forget the whole story, but that's when they were really like trying to make a polished radio friendly shit. And it sounds like that. And Joe's voice is kind of down a little bit. There's a lot more Mick vocals. It's more pop stuff, but like I just love like I mean the lyrics are still there. Like it's still a very good Clash record. And I don't know, it's so easy on the ears, and it's like such a good consistent record, which at the same time, that's why I love like Sandinista and London Calling because they're so eclectic. And that's like when we write Catbite records, like I think we like to go with eclectic and all over the place. So there's also that appreciation. So I really don't know what my favorite Clash record is. I could say any of them. Obviously, Cut the Crap's not the greatest, but it's still not a bad record.
What is an album writing process like for you guys? Walk us through that for a minute. What is it from like thought to execution?
Well, I think most of the times it starts with Tim and I, like, either he'll come to me and have like a riff or something like that, or I'll have like these lyrics and like melody that like I've just kind of been thinking about, and like we'll come and like into our little office here and just like try to start out something like a very basic skeleton of a song. Maybe we'll think like, hey, let's try to go for like a more rock steady feel in this song, and then like that may change, but like we'll try to have like some kind of idea that we're going for. We just do like a very basic kind of skeleton of a song, and then we'll do like a garage band demo of it and like show it to Chris and Ben, and then we'll all come together during like a practice and like just kind of feel it out after that. And that way Ben and Chris have like an idea of what it sounds like. They can listen to it and see if like any ideas come to them, like any different parts that they want to try or hear. That's usually how it goes.
Yeah, and that's definitely the way it's kind of gone. Like that's how we want it to always be is like
Mhm.
the four of us
Collaborative.
collaborative. Whereas because if you our first record was very much the opposite. The first record we kind of just threw it together really quickly, and it was a lot of like there were some songs that like it was just like me and Britt just wrote the whole thing. We showed it to everyone in the studio, and then we recorded it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like that. I feel like we on the second record we really found our sound, and that's because well, on our first record we had a different bass player. It was our friend Johnny. So Ben came in shortly after that record came out. But also I've been playing music with Ben since high school, so
Yeah, I just
it's
feel
just
like
a good
if
fit.
we're a band, we should all like be a part of the creative process of writing this music, because we're all really good at our own specific things, and like combining them all together is, I feel like, how we were able to find our sound.
Mhm.
So I wouldn't feel comfortable if Tim and I were the only ones writing the song, and I would just be like Tim and I's band, and then like people that we hired on. You know what I mean? Like that's not the case at all. Like we are all Catbite, and this
Yeah.
is all our music. So like it needs to be in some way or another like written by all of us.
Yeah.
Like
'Cause-
I have like friends that, they're in a band and they essentially just like are like hired guns and they go and they play the songs even though they are like super talented, but like one person will write everything, all the parts, and that's cool if that's what you want to do, but that's not the case for
yeah,
us.
I feel like so I was in a ska band for like 9 years, and that was kind of what it was like for that. It was my friend, our singer, he would write everything and then kind of show us. And I didn't really have any input at all. I was also very self-conscious and like I was, the least talented musically in that band. And there was a lot of things that I thought in my head, but I never really kind of brought to the table. And it sucked. That's why I eventually left the band because I'm like, this I feel like I'm just going through the motions and performing, which I love performing, but like it's hard, it doesn't mean the same when you didn't really have input into these songs.
Mhm.
And that's like completely what I wanted to go against. Like when we started Catbite, it's just like, once we figured out like this is a real band, it's like we want all 4 members to have as equal say in the songwriting, or just not even
Yeah.
just like, I want everyone to have ideas and I want everyone to bring their part and I don't want anyone to be unhappy with any of the songs.
Mhm.
And like we all 4 of us have such eclectic taste, and which I think is what really makes it fun and gives the Catbite kind of range of songs. So it makes
Mhm.
it so eclectic and so like all over the place, but it still sounds like a Catbite song.
Mhm. I also feel like I want these songs to be the best possible songs that they can be, and like I know for myself, I am not good at everything. So there are things that Tim is way better that he could help out, or Ben or Chris, and like I want these songs to be absolutely amazing. So like why would I why would I be the one to be like, let's do this when I like, don't know what the fuck I'm saying?
Mhm.
Where I can have Tim or Ben or Chris come in and like make that part perfect. And then it's like, mwah,
Mwah.
beautiful song.
I think that's very important because I think about my project when you guys bring that up. Like I do have a backing band with me that comes out, but
Mhm.
every song starts out with me acoustic band. I just say, hey, here's this, add on whatever you want to, and yes,
Yeah.
add your own flavor onto it. Like that's the best way to do it.
Mhm. Yeah. No, and like, certain bands it totally works, and some bands it's like a one person's project, and depends sometimes that like if they know exactly how they want it to work. Like I mean for an example that works so well is kind of like the Jeff Rosenstock band.
Mhm.
Jeff is writes everything. Jeff is this crazy genius and he knows what the song is going to sound like from the second he starts writing it. And, he has extremely talented bands, but they're playing his songs,
Mhm.
but it works. It works so good. It's the Jeff Rosenstock band, Death Rosenstock, whatever you want to call it. But it's like, in a case like that, sometimes it is best, to have one like solid writer of all parts. But then, like, he obviously, picked this person to be in this band because he knows that they are going to kind of do what he says, but also like, do it right.
Yeah.
And so it's like it could go either way. And there's like a little bit in between. Like for you, it's like, it's your band, but like you're letting people come in and do their thing to your songs. So it's like there's no right or wrong way. I think there's whatever makes everyone happy is cool. And I like seeing that.
Now, you guys, you had mentioned that you are going on tour with Hot Water Music in the UK. You have a lot of dates for stuff coming up too, though. One thing that I'd like to talk about, where Ian is also playing, is Pooza Fest, which is honestly, this is the first time I've heard of it myself. What is that like? So it's a combination of pizza and poutine. Is that where the name comes from? Is that what I was told?
I think so. I've heard
I didn't know that.
I've heard unconfirmed reports that that's what Pooza stands for, which makes I'm a little confused because I didn't realize that Montreal was known for their pizza. Obviously, their poutine, but
I'll have to look that up.
I mean, yeah,
Where did you hear that?
I don't even remember, but basically,
mean-
if I hear pizza, it sticks.
No,
in.
I think I told you that first, but how I remember where I heard it from, I have no idea. So
You might have
Okay.
just. You
Maybe
also
on
could
the
have.
website, pretty sure.
You could have been
Pretty sure it's
trolling
on
me.
Google.
Also,
I've definitely heard that as well.
Pizza and poutine.
I mean, look, P-O-U
Well, yeah. Now
Z-Z-A.
Yeah.
Pooza.
Yeah.
Pooza. It makes total sense. I just don't get where the pizza comes from. But I mean, I love
to do some
pizza.
research.
Does Montreal have their own style
I
of
didn't
pizza?
know. I didn't know.
Altoona has its own style
I
of
know
pizza.
that's
Terrible.
ridiculous.
All right, Ian, let's have a pizza and poutine date on Friday, May 17th when we're at Pooza.
I'm marking down. We're making it
All
happen.
right. Sick. I love poutine. It is so delicious. Oh my God.
It is really good.
But yeah, Pooza Fest is awesome. So this is your first time playing it, right, Ian?
Yeah, about my first time.
All right, cool. It's very fun. This is our third
I think so.
time for Catbite. This is probably my 6th time for Tim. My old ska band played it once. My old punk band played it twice, and then this will be 3 times for Catbite. So a
Hey.
lot of poutine.
Yeah.
It's a very fun festival. I always kind of compare it to Fest down in Gainesville, Florida, where it's a big old punk rock, very DIY formed type of festival where it is a bunch of different shows happening all at the same time at a bunch of different venues in a semi-small amount of area, which is exactly like what Fest is.
Mhm.
It's
That's
like,
so they have like the main outdoor area.
yeah, which I don't know if they're doing that anymore.
Oh.
They always they did for a long time have one big like main stage kind of in the city center and then like smaller clubs around.
All around.
But I think that this year they are not doing the big main stage.
But it is like the French
Canadian version of
Canadian version of Fest.
Mhm.
And there's just like punks everywhere walking around. It's a really good time.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it's like, the same thing. You get like a bracelet and you can go into any of the venues that are going on unless it's at capacity. And it's just a good time. Yeah, lots of just friendly people running around. The only thing that's different is with Fest, they do it on the weekend that like the football team has the big out of town thing. It's like they're right. I'm not really sure. I always get confused with this, but either way, like all the college kids leave that weekend, and that's when they started doing Fest. That's not what happens in Pooza. There's so many people in Montreal. It's such a big city,
Mhm.
so it's kind of like just a bunch of punk kids like incorporated into everyday like Montreal living. So there's just so many people everywhere, and the parking sucks. But other than that, it's really fun. Yeah,
Speaking touring, y'all just went to you just played in Tokyo too, right?
Yeah, we had 4 shows in Japan.
Yeah, that was back in October.
How was that experience just traveling to Japan? What were like the upsides and downsides of that?
Well, downside is how long it takes, but we also have like several flights to get there. You got to make sure to walk around when you're flying that long because my feet blew up into
Yeah.
little balloons.
He was asking the flight attendant
I
until the
was
flight.
Yeah, I really was panicking because we went to Australia at the beginning of last year and it was a long flight as
That was
well.
longer.
Yeah, and my feet were fine, so I really was panicking, and so I found the flight attendant. And I was like, "Is everything okay with my feet? Like, what's going on?" And she like calmed me down. She was like, "Everything's fine. Like, this happens."
Well, because you had your shoes on, right?
I had Crocs on, and I felt I was like, my feet feel weird. Like Crocs are like, they're like a little bit bigger than most shoes, so like there's some space in between my foot and the top of the freaking shoe. And I felt like my foot like this on top. I was like, this feels weird.
Yeah,
What's going
my
on
feet
with
were
my
balloons.
foot?
I could barely
It's
walk.
so weird. It's like my toes are like bing, 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 like sticking out of my little ball of a
Like if you
foot.
take a rubber glove and
Yeah,
that's what our
it's
feet felt like.
scary, it's
But-
scary, but everything was fine. So that was weird and set off the trip and scared the shit out of me. But
Yeah,
Japan is amazing.
it is the coolest place in the world. I mean, I just cannot believe how different it is. I like
like
a lot of
the
people.
total opposite of the United States.
Yeah, like I feel like a lot of people, when they describe like Asian countries, they're like it's like being on a different planet if you're used to like America or like even Europe. But like it really is like a different planet. Like everything is so completely different. It's clean. People are nice. The amount of respect that people have.
For others and for, like, the place that they live, like, they really take care of it, and, like, there's just it's so clean, there's no trash
There's no trash
anywhere.
anywhere.
There's also no, like, garbage cans or
People,
trash cans, like, out on the street because people just, like, take their trash with them to, like, the next place they go that has a trash can and then dispose of it there, and, like, it's just so I mean, they really, like, are big on, like, giving you making sure you have, like, a good time and showing, like, hospitality, and, like, they really took care of us while we were there. The other bands were so cool, and just, like, the 2 of them they're, like, massive Japanese bands over there. We toured with this, ska punk band called Hey Smith and Tokyo Ska Paradise Orchestra, who's, like, fucking massive, and they just showed us so much respect, and they, like, all the bands, like, every member of the bands were at the side stage, like, when we were done our set and just, like, cheering us on and, like, giving us fist bumps and,
bowing
like,
to
high
us.
fives, and it was, like, at every show after our set, they were all there just, like
Yeah. Also, like the crowd in between bands, especially like when we were about to get on the stage, it was so quiet. You could this like take our Tokyo show. There was 3,000 people in the crowd.
Mhm.
3,000 people, and like you could hear a pin drop on stage because everyone is just there waiting for you. And like, and even like while we were on stage, like in between songs, like Britt would be talking and everyone would just be like,
They just all paying attention and just, like, waiting for, whatever waiting for the next song or, like, what you had to say, or it is just crazy.
also, there was not a single person on their phone in the crowd.
Yes.
No one. It was just faces. All you could see is faces looking
Crazy.
at you and
And also
smiling
and also
and
they in Japan, they, like, log roll when they
uh,
crowd surf instead of just, like, being
flailing around. They're
instead of
just
being
like
still, they go like a log roll
it
all the
looks
way
like
to the front.
it,
It's
it
insane.
looked like a 7-Eleven hot dog roller,
It's
but
crazy.
people. So like in a nice organized fashion
It's
of
so
like
crazy.
there was especially like for Hey Smith, the one band that from Japan, they're crazy wild ska punk, one of the most energetic
They're
live
so
shows I've ever
good.
seen in my life. So you have at any given time 10 to 20 to 30 people crowd surfing.
Uh-huh.
No one is touching anyone in the air. They're just in perfect like horizontal parallel formation, just rolling towards the front. And the bouncer catches them, and they go off on their merry little way. No fights, no aggression, just fun times, smiles. Everyone's just so happy to be there. I
It was
just
so cool. I really hope that we get to go back soon.
yeah, I just like my mouth hurt from smiling so much when I
Yeah.
was in Japan, especially like these shows. I'm just like, this is
Oh
like
my gosh, and we didn't even get to the food.
oh well, yeah, the food was the best thing I've ever eaten in my life.
I
Even the
was like, they just kept feeding us like all day long. I was like, there would be food when we got to the venue,
a
like
whole
in a
meal.
bento box type thing, and then like,
We'd go sound check, and then we
and then
come
be
back,
like
and
a
there's a
whole
whole new
spread.
spread of like McDonald's, and we're like, "What teriyaki burgers? Okay." And then I like blink, and next thing you know, there's a whole tray of like fried chicken, and then I cough, and then I look back, and
Chicken
then
wing.
there's chicken wings.
Yeah.
Like there would be like 5 entire meals for us backstage from when we loaded in until we left, and then they would bring us to a dinner.
After
An after party dinner where it's like all you can eat hot pot and all you can drink
yeah.
lemon sours. Jeez,
Wow.
I drank more. They drink so hard there, which is crazy. I drank more. I don't usually drink that much on tour. I'm also like the tour manager for Catbite and usually the driver. So I'm, haven't been just don't drink that much. But when we were in Japan, we had drivers. I couldn't really do anything because I couldn't speak Japanese. So I was just there for fun. And they were just like,
Yeah, they party hard.
but it's like after the show,
Mhm.
then boom, the switch flips. And next thing you know, there's 5 beers and 15 lemon sours and highballs all in front of me. And I'm just like, all right, here we go. Because it's like the drinking culture is just so different. It's
Mhm.
like, it's, if someone is stumbling down the street drunk as shit,
It's not
peop-
like a shameful thing
it's
or
not a shame.
embarrassing
It's
thing.
like that person's having fun. Let me help them.
Mhm.
And because also the people are not. I didn't see any aggression. It was all just like it was fun, all in fun and like a celebration.
Yeah.
Even if people weren't celebrating with us, it was like just
It's
the
really safe there too.
yeah, it's
Gosh.
very cool place.
I am now adding a Japanese punk show to my bucket list because that's where my other musical love is karaoke. So I do need to go over for that at some point, but I'll make sure that I include some punk rock in that trip too. Then 'cause
Yeah,
that just sounds amazing.
Yeah.
it's unreal. It's so unreal.
I miss that sense of community where everybody's just there for the music. Nobody's on their phones because
Yeah.
here and there's safe crowd surfing. My last time seen crowd surfing, I went to Warped Tour under Oakblade, and this big dude, 50 pounds, crowd surf, wore steel toe boots and kicked me right in the fucking neck.
Oh
I'm like,
my
oh
gosh. Yeah.
God.
Yeah,
But
there's just like self-awareness and like the pit. Yeah, like that's the thing. Like shows like this in the States. You have people that are on their phones the whole time. I mean, like I'm guilty of that. I do that too. But it's just like it's part of our culture. But like you just don't see it there. I've been told by some of the Japanese bands that we toured with that it's not like that at every show, but a lot. It really depends on what the artist says, and whatever the artist says, the crowd respects. And for these shows that we played with Hey Smith, they asked for no phones, no phone cameras and stuff during the shows. And there's not like a security guy looking around to check and like just kick
Yeah.
people out.
People just do it.
Yeah, it's just there's a sign when you come in that says please no phones, and no one does it. No one. Like which kind of sucks because I was looking forward to being tagged in all these videos, and then I found after the first show I'm like, shit, no one's taking video. All right, that's fine. It was worth it. It was totally worth it to have to be playing a show and just all eyes on us.
I mean, we took videos from side stage.
Oh,
We were
yeah,
like,
we were-
like, oh my god.
I was taking so much videos, but they said we were allowed to. So yeah, I wasn't being disrespectful. It was like, I'm just like, I need to, this is the coolest thing.
Yeah.
I need
Josh
to.
Bennett.
who have been some of your favorite bands you toured with?
Jeff and the Jeff Rosenstock crew. I think that was like our first like really
That was like the first big
big
tour
that we did.
that Catbite ever did.
But all of them are just so cool and like so fun, and that band is just fucking awesome. That was a really, really memorable one. Bouncing Souls.
The Bouncing Souls
Oh my
are
God.
just like they're one of the first punk bands I really got into, like in high school. Like when I was saying, like I was getting the Clash and Rancid, like Bouncing Souls were probably top 10, top 5 probably. And
They're all just such
They're just-
good dudes, and like
yeah,
they really treated us like
Like-
peers. And even though we were like opening for them, they showed us so much respect, and
they treated us 100% like they treated us like we were the future generation to carry the torch.
yeah.
Whereas they didn't need to do that. We
Yeah.
are the opening band, but they like they would always be hanging out with us. All that, like from when we got to the venue, every one of them, whether it's their crew or like the 4 dudes, like they're checking in on all of us, making
Yeah.
sure everything's good. And before we go on stage, like if our green rooms were like really far away, they would bring us into their green rooms.
Always welcomed us. They're like, whatever you need, like if you guys don't have like you need to take a shower, like come take a shower. We got like 4 showers in our room. Like come grab a shower, or like like what you need a water, get some waters.
Yeah.
It's like so kind to us. And it was really fucking awesome. We were just actually talking to Greg. Greg has been like a really big help, just like talking about like the business kind of about
He's
like
been become like our
yeah,
mentor.
yeah, like
which is
I'll
really cool.
text him and be like, what do you think of this? And like he'll give me a call or something, and like it's just been they're just so cool.
I'm just in such awe of how cool they are and like how they've taken us under
Yeah.
their wing, and like for a band that I've put on such a high pedestal for like all my life, to have them like respect us like that,
Yeah.
as a newer band, And also, like,
Really
we're not even like a punk band, you know. I mean, we're kind of, we're a ska band, and like for them to hype us up so much, and like just it's
It
so
really means a
cool.
lot. Yeah.
Because you guys also got put on too by Gaslight Anthem, if I'm not mistaken. And
Yeah,
Yeah.
we got brought out on tour with them.
That was crazy. Those were some big venues.
Mm.
Gaslight's really cool. Brian's awesome.
The whole
He's,
band
he's
is
also another like sweetheart of a person. Like I can text him and be like, ask him like a silly question or whatever, and he's always like responding with a silly answer.
Yeah, it's also cool because like that band, they only bring out bands that like it's basically if Brian Fallon likes a band a lot,
Bring them
he's gonna
out.
bring them out on tour no matter what the fuck he thinks the fans are gonna think.
Yeah.
Which is a little weird for us to, be a ska band opening for the Gaslight Anthem in the middle of like this tour we did was from Cleveland, Ohio to Sacramento. So it's basically all of Bumblefuck with like a little bit of, Denver and a couple big cities, but a older generation, a lot of Bruce Springsteen fans, a lot of people being like, what the fuck is a ska band doing here?
Yeah.
But it was actually really humbling because, right before this tour was the second half of our Bad Time Records co-headline tour. So that was like, we're all gassed up. We're doing these shows, basically headlining to a bunch of people that are literally there to see us and singing our songs. Then we played a big ska festival, or same thing.
Mhm.
And then immediately we're opening for the Gaslit Anthem, where everyone's just like, the fuck? The fuck is a ska band? Like, what year is it?
Showed up, if they even showed us to catch the set. But it was like, I will say, like
After
that tour, I think the first couple shows we were like, all right, this gotta be for us. This gotta be like for nobody else.
Yeah. But then things changed. Like, I think like once we were like, it kind of put us in our place and like reminded us that we are still a very growing band. We have a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
And to remember that this is like, we're doing this because we like to play shows. And like, no matter what the crowd's thinking, like, we're just going to have fun because we could, be doing whatever the fuck else with our lives.
Yeah.
And then,
but I think the really cool thing about like Brian and like the Gaslight crew, like bringing us out is like, they put us in front of a lot of faces that probably would never have heard of us.
yeah.
Which was fucking cool.
Yeah.
And another thing is like playing to a crowd that you just like, you can see on their face, they just like they either don't know of you or have never heard of you, or like maybe they just saw your name and they're like trying to get a feel for you. And then like you seeing them winning them over throughout the set is a really cool feeling. And so that was like a cool thing about those shows, because like a lot of those people had no fucking clue who we were.
Yeah. Also, a lot of these venues, like they're big, a lot of like the Live Nation venues and shit like that. It said, you buy your tickets, it says the Gaslight Anthem.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. So
like,
they didn't even know we were there.
even on the posters and the marquees and shit, unless you're following them on social media,
Yeah.
you have no idea that this band Catbite is opening for them. So, they're going to see the Gaslight Anthem. They get out. This is like date night. These are a lot of people where this is their one concert of the quarter. They go to three concerts all year, and this is one of them.
See us like go crazy on stage. We're like drenched in sweat, and they're like, what
the fuck is going on? And then like, there's so many times where like people are like just looking at us like this the whole time. And then like by the last song, they're like,
yeah. Or
and you're like,
some people who really looked like they were having a miserable time, they'll come like back to the merch table and be like, you guys were so awesome. And
I haven't listened to ska since No Doubt. I'm like, yo, have you guys heard of this band No Doubt? Like, I think you remind me of No Doubt. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'll buy a t-shirt.
Yeah.
But no, it was
really
cool. It kind of like, it was like a big eye-opening thing, and like it definitely created a stronger bond with the band too, because we're like,
and also they also brought us out to a lot of places we had not hit yet, like Wichita,
Kansas, and Sioux Falls,
South Dakota,
a lot of fucking weird places.
So you guys are a newer band, but you guys are not new. So like the way that the Souls and Gaslight kind of brought you, who are some of the younger bands that you guys have gone on with that you really love and support?
Well, we haven't really been doing too much headline stuff. I mean, so we've done only a handful of headline shows, mostly like in Philly and the area, but like some good local ones.
Well, one band, they're called Froggy, and they're like a riot girl punk band, and they're from Philly or like just outside. I think they all live
They're all Philly area.
yeah, Philly area. But they're so cool. I love them. They're like my little baby sisters, and they opened for us like for
Our record release show,
just for Nice One.
which was our first ever headline show ever.
Yeah.
We had them. Yeah, it was at Philomoka
And
in August.
they're just so
2020.
good. They're so good and so talented, and they're also really sweet people.
Yeah, it was
So
them and the Best of the Worst.
Best of the Worst,
which is a New Jersey ska core band, which actually they've been around for a long time and has had a lot of lineup changes and stuff, but they are so good. It's just like the sick ass blend of like brutal, like East Coast, like New Jersey hardcore, Philly hardcore type of shit mixed with ska. And they're on our label Bad Time Records, which I mean, I can only say great things about all the bands that are on Bad Time Records. Some of the bands that were opening the Bad Time Records tour, there was Bad Operation, which is one of my favorites. I feel like of the Bad Time Records bands, them and this band called the Pomps, who also opened it, are the most like Catbite, where it's guitar and keyboard driven, less focus on the horns, a little bit more traditional and blends of like the two-tone. And also, while they're both bands are pretty political, which I really like. But then then there's bands like Kill Lincoln and We Are the Union, which were our co-headliners on that tour. So we did like a revolving thing where one of us three would headline every night, even though it's just a big old celebration of Bad Time ska.
Yeah. Who would we want to have headline like our next headline tour? Who do you think?
Headline tour?
I mean, open or like support for our next headline.
See, there's so many bands, ska and not, that like, I mean, it's inevitable that we're gonna have to do a headline tour soon. Maybe if we were to, release a new record sometime soon. I mean, so like, we're obviously working on that. No plans yet, but
There's so many, like Philly has such a like big music scene. I feel like it'd be cool to have like another Philly band.
yeah, I don't even know where to start. Another good band that's open for us for Philly and New York, this band called Bacchae. Yeah, they're so good. They're kind of like in hibernation right now. I'm not really sure what they're doing. Maybe they're working
They're working on their next record.
Oh, there you go. Boom.
Yeah.
Great band. Just like rock and roll punk.
Are you guys into jazz at all?
Yes, I am. I went to school for jazz.
Oh, nice. And you guys are Philly cats. Do you know V. Shane Frederick? Based out of there.
Actually, yeah, he's like, is he like a he's like a bass singer?
He sings. I'd say baritone, but
Baritone, okay.
keyboardist, and he plays, and really a bit of pal of mine for a while. He's really fucking good.
I
Shout
think
out
I
to
do know who
Shane.
you're talking about. Yeah.
I don't know. I like jazz, but I don't know anything about jazz.
If you see him playing around you, check it out because he's
Okay.
he's great.
Let's check it out.
I think he does gigs with one of my teachers that I studied with at University of the Arts, Liz Radaganda. That's how I think I know him through her. Or not know him, but know of him.
And other bands he played with, I know one band he played with too, who I love. I just know last year was Bad Cop.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were
Homies.
we've been friends with them like online for years and years, and we'd never like met them or played with them until they got added to our tour with the Bouncing Souls over on the West Coast. And they were like they were the direct support band, and so we got to play 10, 11, 12 shows?
Yeah, it was like 2 weeks.
Yeah. They're
Yeah.
so sweet. They're so nice.
There's another group of people that like really like took care of us. They were like our like big sisters. They just like really made sure like because we were second of four.
We were second of 4
So everyone got a sound check except for us.
because of the time with all the time. So,
Yeah,
but
the first show we played was like it went like not great because we were using in-ear monitors and like
without a sound check, it was
no
just
sound check. It became like a crazy mess. So after that show, they were like, we really don't need to take up all of our time for like check. We never checked that long. So like you guys just hop on up, take like 10 minutes, the last 10 minutes of ours and like and get a check. And like they did that every single show after that. And
yeah, they
we-
didn't need to do that, but they did.
No.
Like they think they had like a 45-minute sound check, and they every night because also we were sharing a lot of gear, so we all they sacrificed like 20 minutes of their check every night so that we could have a quick little 15-minute line check before because the first show we like souls checked, back cop checked, and then urethane the one of 4 band checked, and then the show went on.
My
and then
microphone wasn't on for the first 3 songs.
first 3 songs, no microphone, which fuck the sound engineer.
That person basically gave up. Like
She gave up.
when we were setting up, like, the show is on now, and like urethane just finished. We're up, and like,
We're-
like
We have
the
10
one
minutes
per-
to-
yeah, we have 10 minutes to like get all of our like in-ear monitors like going, and like you could see like clear panic on the one person that was like doing
The monitor engineer.
monitors for us. Like that person was panicking, and I felt so awful for them. They were like, "Why didn't you guys get a sound check?
And we're
Like,
like,
this is you should have had a sound check." And we're just like, "I don't know, but like what's the easiest thing?" And then like the person who was out the front of house like board just like was over, like
she was pissed about it.
she was over it, and then like basically stopped trying. And so like my microphone was not working for the first 3 songs, and she just like let it go and then everybody in the crowd is
Everyone in
like,
the crowd's like, vocals! There's
Dude.
no vocals!
"It's crazy."
And I'm just like over here like, what are we gonna do?
yeah.
And then
Yeah,
eventually
I think that like the first 10 seconds, then you think about the first 3 songs. What
First 3
the
songs.
hell?
Yeah.
what's also crazy is that it was coming in through our monitors.
Right.
So we're just like, maybe they just got to turn it up somewhere. We're like, they'll figure it out. This is a 2,000 cap venue that has a professional sound engineer.
Mhm.
Like maybe they'll do their job, or like maybe just like tell us to stop for a second. First day of tour
Not
too.
really.
Like,
That's like 3. We only have a 30-minute set,
yes,
so
that's
there's
a third of the set basically.
But after that, yeah, then everything was a lot
Everything was
smoother
gravy.
sailing because of Bad Cop Back, because they really looked out for us, and that was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I just met them just back in September when I was at Lost Evenings with Frank Turner and everything. And that's where me and
Yeah.
Lynn first met too.
Yeah.
And from the jump, me and Lynn have grown closer together. Like she's such the sweetest fucking person I've met
She's
before
so
in my
sweet.
life.
She's so spicy.
She's so like
little.
she's so genuine. She's so loud and energetic. Oh
Yeah.
my god, I love her so much.
Yeah.
Like,
She got me into Ted Lasso.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah.
this show's so good, right?
So good.
We're always at the risk of becoming a Ted Lasso fan cast instead of a music one.
That's
But
fine.
it's-
I'll talk about it all day. It's so good. It's we finished.
Yeah,
Is that
we
the last
finished it.
season
Yeah, but
ever?
yeah.
Is that the
Maybe.
last season? We'll see. Okay.
Maybe.
You say
There's rumors of a 4th, so I don't know how they would do that, but
I wouldn't
I-
be, I
I'll be
wouldn't
there.
mad.
So y'all, have you seen The Sopranos?
yes.
So apparently it's a good show. I've never watched it. Neither of us had
I've
ever
still
watched
never
it.
seen it.
Everyone's like, you gotta watch The Sopranos. I was like, what the hell is wrong with you? So I had surgery last year. That I was out for like, on the couch for like 6 weeks. So I finally started watching it. And then I got bored and busy and I never finished it. So I'm finally working on finishing it.
But it's just so
So-
funny because like a lot of my friends at work they like just rewatch The Sopranos, and so like they're always talking about it. I'm like, Tim watched The Sopranos once and he stopped watching it because he said it was boring, and they all were like, "What?"
I piss so many
What?
people off when I tell them that.
Yeah,
I was like all jacked up on fucking oxy recovering, and I'm like at attention span of like a 2-year-old. I'm like trying to watch The Sopranos and like on my phone and in pain, and so like I would just like zone out and like something would happen. I'm like, what? That guy's a snake? Like and like yeah. So, but I just like literally the other day I was like, all right, let me this another shot. I'm on like season 4.
Actually, I'll watch it. I think.
It's getting pretty good.
Before we get into this next part, if you need another show to watch, if you haven't watched yet, watch Steven Universe. It's on HBO Max, and it is
Steven
one of the
Universe, yeah.
best shows of all
Is
time.
that the animated one?
Mm-hmm.
Watch the show. It is just a children horror story, like interpersonal relationship and how we deal with that. And it's fun, but it'll break your heart in the best ways. It's so good.
Okay, good to know. Cool. All right, we'll check it out.
And I think it's time for our game.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Prize, motherfucker. Yeah, so this game, we ask you some quick fire questions. Just get your answers to it.
Okay, cool. I can do that.
So the first question, well, I guess my first one is best Philly cheesesteak.
I love that. And it's Memphis Market.
Yeah,
In
there's just like
Kensington.
there's like it's like a bodega, like corner store.
Like
they
cheesesteak hoagie for like
best-
$6.
Yeah, they have the best cheesesteak, and you can make it like
Mm.
you can make it like hoagie style, so you can add lettuce and tomato and all that. or you
Yeah.
can just
I don't
make
like
like
it just
regular
meat and
cheesesteak.
cheese. It has to have fucking flavor and
Yeah, and then
veggies.
put, like, hot sauce on it. Yeah,
like
it's good.
shit. I'm
And it's
plain-
like it's like $6, and it's huge.
Yeah, you go to Pat and Gino's, it's like 14 for a piece of bread with shit on it.
Yeah.
Fuck that shit. And they're all fucking racist as shit.
Yeah.
Fuck
Shit,
Gino's.
so-
Fuck Pat's. Next
See,
question.
I was like, oh,
That was the most Philly answer we could have asked for, so I appreciate that. Now, you said that you don't want to ever yuck a yum and you don't believe in like guilty pleasure, but if you had something that you would call a guilty pleasure musically that somebody else would refer to it as, like what's your like weird out
Tarzan
there
soundtrack.
Tarzan soundtrack.
Fucking love Phil Collins.
Didn't have to go so hard.
I go ahead.
Mine is just like I don't know, like pop music, like, or I don't know, like I like pop music. I like T-Pain.
T-Pain is so talented.
Yeah, he's so talented. I just like that kind of shit.
Yeah.
his cover of War Pigs is
It's
so fucking good.
amazing. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I just
So much respect for T-Pain. And his NPR Tiny Desk
So good.
I don't know if you've ever seen it.
Yep.
Oh, it's so good. It's like that was like the first like very public thing that he did, like after all his success with autotune and all that stuff. It was like his first real raw performance, like that was in the limelight.
and
like,
everyone was like, T-Pain can really
everyone's like,
sing.
T-Pain can sing.
Yeah,
And
he
it's like
can
yes, he
sing.
can sing.
So talented.
He's an artist. He uses, like that's another thing. Like people just like autotune. It's fake. It's just another effect. Like if you are a guitar,
Like
you have
putting a
pedals.
twist on your
It's-
instrument.
It's he's an artist using it to greater his art. No, shit's cool. But he's also super fucking talented.
Brittany, give me your Mount Rushmore of pop bands. Says you like pop music.
Paramore #1, NSYNC #2,
Okay.
#3, Michael Jackson, even though he's not a band. 4, I guess Selena was she was like branching out into like mainstream.
That's it. 4.
Let's
like
add her
four.
at #4.
What's your Mount Rushmore of regional fast food that you can't get everywhere?
Oh,
In-N-Out.
yeah. I mean, well, let's In-N-Out's definitely just because it's a treat.
It's so greasy, so good.
Yeah. It's more of a special like. If the food's good, I think it's a lot better than.
I think it's good.
Yeah. I like the options. I like the secret menu.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like you can be all like, give me animal style, and they're like,
What-
"Oh,
what-
I got you." I don't know what it means, but all right, In-N-Out. I like Whataburger a lot. Also, so I was born in Texas, and I moved away when I was very young. But apparently, my mom, all she ate when I was in the womb was Whataburger and tacos. So I just love Whataburger and tacos. So Whataburger,
Okay. And White Castle.
White Castle,
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
so good.
the first
There's
ones
nothing
to.
Philly, or there's nothing.
No,
from
you have to go to like
Jersey.
Jersey or the Lehigh Valley. Oh, and then Get Go.
Oh, Gecko's so good.
Get Go in the Pittsburgh general area, right? Right?
Yeah.
Oh my god, their kitchen is just on fire.
Yeah,
It's like
and they have like the plant-based stuff too. Like because Chris is a vegan, Chris our drummer, so like that's like one of the only places you can actually get
yeah,
a
you get,
meal.
like the Beyond or Impossible Burger.
Yeah.
Also, just like the quality of
It's really good. Yeah,
It's like if Sheetz and Wawa like were good, I guess.
yeah.
better.
Sheets makes me like feel
I
not
want
good.
to, yeah, and same with Wawa. Makes
Yeah,
me wanna
wow.
gag. So that they're there. That's the
Yeah.
4.
Yeah.
In-N-Out, Whataburger, White Castle.
White Castle.
One man, there's no Culver's, but this sheet slander hurts me so much.
So here's the thing.
wait.
We've never been to Culver's.
No, but someone brought us cheese curds. Remember?
They were
But
so
they were so
cold.
cold, they were
No,
so
so the issue is okay. So there's a couple places that we really want to go, but
Culver's one.
Culver's and Cookout,
Oh, Cookout.
which
we
I've
haven't
been
tried yet.
like,
Fuck.
we've been dying to go, but like they're really only on like the interstate, right? And we don't stop places unless there's an option for everyone. And Chris is vegan. There's literally even the water at those places are probably not vegan. Like so we're not gonna stop there out of respect for Chris.
Can you get some lettuce there?
Yeah, so it's like I've been like dying to try
Yeah.
Lookout and Culver's. It just has not worked out. It's never nearby any of the times we stop on the highway.
We'll try it one day.
It's definitely on the list, and I know everyone's has told me all about both of them.
Yeah,
So
Culver's is in Ohio now, which is nice, and it's always on the Gulf side of Florida because everyone from the Midwest moved
Yeah.
to that side of Florida. So like,
Yeah,
if you guys
it's-
are out
it's
playing
definitely
there,
it's definitely been expanding.
Really? People from the Midwest move there?
yeah, like
Everyone
everybody from
moves
the
to
Midwest
Florida.
moves to the Gulf side for the most part.
Why? I
It
wonder why
seems.
And
that is.
And then everyone from Jersey goes
To
to
the East
the
Coast.
Yeah,
Huh. Florida sucks.
yeah.
she's from Florida. She can say that. But as
And
also
so can everyone else. Everyone else is allowed to say
it's not there's some very nice things about
I
Florida.
like to visit. I like to visit.
The,
see, you know.
Yeah, I mean the there's some nice people there, but a lot of the politics down there fucking suck ass.
Mhm.
Suck my big toe.
Who's on your wish list to tour with next? Who would you love to open up for?
My number one dream band to go on tour with is Against Me. So I'm just like, Laura, get the band back together
I
and
feel
bring
like
us on tour.
I feel like that. I think it would happen.
I
I think it
it's-
would happen sooner rather than later.
we've been very blessed to become friends with Laura over the past year, which like I literally play my guitar. I have a Rickenbacker because like I wanted a Rickenbacker guitar before I even played guitar, just because Laura looked so cool with it. Like Against Me, it's probably been like it's like top 3 favorite band of all time. Just such powerful band, and like if Catbite could go on tour Against
That'd be
Me,
pretty fucking-
I'd be so fucking happy.
I want to go on tour with Paramore.
Yeah, Paramore would be really cool.
First, let me say your cover of How Low is fucking fantastic. I
you.
love
Thank
that
you.
so much. That whole record is just fantastic.
Yeah, that's thank you. I've always loved that whole record so much. I just like so good. It's so good. Against Me is such a good band.
Yeah, really.
Laura, come on.
well,
Come on, Laura.
she's put out a record.
I
so
know.
She's a little busy right
I
now,
know.
but
She's a yeah.
I don't think that I wouldn't say that it will never happen.
No, I think like it's also never like they never like broke up. It's
Yeah.
just kind of like Laura's doing her own thing right now. I know they were kind of went their separate ways for a little bit, but I know
They've like since rekindled.
they've
like,
rekindled
a
and
relationship.
I
Yeah.
mean, Laura's doing her record right now. Then Jimmy's having this song Making Petals. Now I know Adam's on the road with Alkaline Trio. So
right.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
they're all very busy.
Yeah.
But it's gonna happen. We're gonna manifest it. Everyone just think for 2 seconds Against Me is gonna come back and bring Catbite. Okay, cool.
around this time last year, she put out a tweet saying he wants to tour with me in April. Well, who wants to tour with me here? So I just decided to shoot my shot. Say, fuck yeah, I'll do it. I'd
Yeah.
love to. I got followed back and said, hey, what are you doing in April? I'm like, oh shit, I didn't know it was gonna work. But it didn't happen, unfortunately. But yeah, it's gonna happen for you guys. I can see it because she also loved your cover of that too.
Yeah,
Right,
so-
She's a very
Yeah.
cool lady.
He's so badass.
She's so badass. She's so cool. She doesn't give a fuck. She just doing her thing,
Mhm.
writing sick songs. But yeah, we like her.
Brittany, Tim, thank you guys so much for coming on and talking to us today. What do you guys have coming out that you want to promote?
Well, like I said, this by the time the general public is listening to this, we have a brand new old record. Did you like our record? Nice one. Well, guess what? It's out again with more deluxe edition. So, if you're finding out about this for the first time, which you might be, so we put out our record in 2021. Previous to this record, we started these side project things called Catfight and Catlight, which during COVID we redid our first record completely in a hardcore punk style and called it Catfight. So we've decided to go and revisit that, and we took some songs from Nice One and catfightified them and catlightified them and added them onto the vinyl.
Catlight was like the
The alternative country
country.
version.
Yes.
So this is Nice One with 4 more songs, vinyl only, and those 4 songs are the songs that are on the record, just different.
Fuck yeah.
You'll get it.
Styles.
Just order the record, and you'll get it when you play it. But that's out from Bad Time Records. It's a very limited amount. I don't know how many, but it's less than 1,000. I think it's like 500 copies. And we are about to get on a plane to go to the UK. So if you're in the UK, come see us in Hot Water Music and Wilhelm Scream. Because
Nice.
it's currently mid-March, right?
If you're listening on the day it came out, today is March 20th. It's also
Oh.
just the day after we recorded, we promise.
Yes. So then tomorrow we are getting on a plane to go to London, England. To get
London.
England.
Oh, we're getting on the plane and going over to London.
Oi.
People say I'm not good at my accent, but I feel like it's good.
That was actually not terrible. It's been pretty bad before.
I just have to yell it. I feel like. to get
Yeah,
funny.
if you do it quietly, it just kind of gets a little like Irishy Australian,
Yeah. I just have to make it loud.
Southern,
It's a conglomerate.
just like ska. It's just a little bit of everything. That's all we got.
What-
I think. Is there anything else?
It's gonna say like the merch stuff.
Just go to catbite.net for anything and everything Catbite.
Yeah.
You can see the tour dates. We're playing a bunch of festivals all around the country. We might have announced more at this point because I don't even know when things are being announced anymore. There's literally like day before we get these announcements, and yeah, we are all over the country and the UK. Come say hi. Come visit us at Merch. Give us a hug. Give us a high five.
Give us a kiss on the lips.
No. That's the kissing booth only.
Well, thank you guys for being part of this. We truly appreciate it. This was so much fun.
Oh, thank
Thank
you
you for
so
having
much.
us.
No, it's good to chat with you too. And I am stoked for our date at Pooza Fest.
This show is the brainchild of Black Guy Fawkes Folk Punk Trio. You can find him on all the social medias as Black Guy Fawkes or Black Guy Fawkes Music, as well as on his website, blackguyfawkes.com. The intro and outro are both from the song New American Meltdown by Black Guy Fawkes, so that's legally covered because this is his podcast, and that is his song, available on the album Life, Love, and the Bomb. Additional music elements provided by Fab Shop Music, a royalty-free music subscription service for podcast hosts and YouTube creators. More info at fabshopmusic.com. Sound design and editing by Ed Cunard, who appears courtesy of his dog and many, many cats. Cover art by Jacob Matthews, a pal who has been down since day one. Fawkes and Friends is hosted on Spotify for podcasters. Listen on Spotify for the best experience. Finally, while Fawkes and Friends firmly believes that punk rock is and should be a safe space, we know it can't be safe for everyone without excluding bad elements. So remember.
So tell your local Nazis and your fascists to fuck off.
To you.
There he is.
Oh my god.
Hello.
Oh.
That's Nacho.
Archie.
in his little bed underneath my workstation.
Hi, Nacho.
He was just making a couple noises because he's sad that we're not petting him, but he will be just fine.